Imagine this. You run a small bakery, and to attract more customers, you slash the price of your best-selling cake by 30%, and you're expecting lines out the door. But instead of boosting sales, your profits actually plummet. How could this happen? This sort of dilemma is exactly what LSAT Resolve the Paradox questions are all about. They're asking you to make sense of conflicting facts and find the missing piece that ties everything together, helping to resolve a confusing situation. Today, I'll show you the exact strategy I use to crush LSAT Resolve the Paradox questions. But first off, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. First off, let's define what we're tackling here. LSAT Resolve the Paradox questions are all about conflicts. You encounter two facts that seem to contradict each other. For example, we have that bakery lowering its cake prices to attract more customers, but it ends up with lower profits. Or we have a top-rated restaurant that might suddenly start receiving terrible reviews. Your job here is to figure out what's going on. What is the missing piece of the puzzle that resolves the contradiction? Now, these questions are easier to spot than you might think, because in the stimulus, you're not going to see an argument or a conclusion, just two facts that seem to conflict with each other. The question stem then asks you to resolve, explain, or reconcile the apparent paradox. Now, why are these questions on the LSAT? Why do they matter? They matter because the skills that you develop in solving them, like identifying gaps, evaluating alternative explanations, will also help you in strengthen questions, weaken questions, and necessary assumption questions also. And these are the same kind of skills that lawyers use to analyze evidence, negotiate, and make strategic decisions. Now, I'm going to walk you through a 4-step process to master LSAT Resolve the Paradox questions. First, you want to identify the paradox. Pinpoint what they expect to happen versus what actually happens. What is the contradiction here that we need to explain? Step 2, try to prephrase or predict potential explanations for the confusing situation. You want to think of causes or reasons that could explain the unexpected outcome. Maybe the bakery ran out of ingredients to meet demand, or maybe competitors lowered their prices even more. Step 3, evaluate the answer choices critically. Does the answer choice resolve the paradox? Does it explain how both facts could still be true at the same time? And of course, step 4, as you walk through those answer choices, watch out for ones that introduce irrelevant details, address only one side of the paradox, distort or change the facts or the timeline, or that further deepen the paradox or confuse the situation rather than resolving it. So back to that bakery example. Again, the bakery lowered the price of its best-selling cake by 30% to boost profits, but their profits actually dropped. So step 1 here, let's identify the paradox. Lower prices were supposed to attract more customers and increase the profits, but instead, profits dropped. Step 2 here, let's prephrase potential explanations. Maybe the lower price only attracted bargain hunters who bought the discounted cake instead of buying other high margin items. By the way, this is what may have happened with the website Groupon back in the day. Or maybe production costs increased because the bakery used more expensive ingredients to meet the surge in demand because they couldn't get the ingredients from their regular suppliers given the higher volume. Now, to succeed with LSAT Resolve the Paradox questions, you've got to avoid the following traps. First off, irrelevant details. LSAT loves to include details in the answer choices that don't directly address the core conflict. They also might include answer choices that only address one side of the paradox, but ignore the other side. You've also got to watch out for distortions of the facts. There may be answers that misrepresent key details or timelines. And finally, weak explanations that don't fully explain how both facts could be true at the same time. If they don't fully explain this, it's not going to be strong enough to be correct. Now, if you'd like my help with LSAT Resolve the Paradox questions or anything else on the LSAT, my team and I would be glad to support you. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.